Welcome to another round of Would You Use That Book? Children's Book Edition. First up is this 1925 copy of My Book House, the In the Nursery volume. I received this copy because it was well loved and well worn. There's quite a bit of damage here. I had already decided that the cover was not something that I wanted, but the images in here are really, really pretty with all of the different colors. And one of the things that is special about this is the existence of this authentic vintage tape, as some parent was attempting to keep this well-loved book intact. What's interesting here is you can see that on this side, the opposite side, the acidity of the tape shows up here in the discoloration, which is fun and an added touch to, you know, the sorts of grungy things that we're interested in. So lots of great illustrations, lots of examples of that tape. When I next make a batch of this tape, I will compare my rendition to the ones in here to see if I've got the right color with my alcohol ink. So I had already taken this one apart, taken off the cover, and intend to be using some of these pages, although they are pretty brittle, so it's going to be a little tricky. But since that was so lovely, I was really wanting to get another copy that was more, was in better condition. So I picked up this 1950 copy. These guys are 7x9, by the way. And this, I picked the one that had the nicest image on the cover. And you can see here, there we have a really pretty end paper here. And a variety of illustrations that are very appealing. This book is in really good condition. I don't know if I would be... I intended to use the cover of this book, but now that I'm looking at it and I have it in my hands, I don't know if I would be able to take it apart because, you know, this is a really nice book in really good condition and could potentially hang out in my personal library for quite some time. So, haven't decided on that one yet. Maybe if I come across more of these. On a similar vein, I picked up this copy of, what are we calling this here? The Bookshelf for Boys and Girls. Now, this entered my possession because the book block was coming away from the cover of the book. And so, since that was already happening, I took the liberty of taking it apart a little further. I think I'll be able to use this cover. The cover is pretty solid on its own. It's just that the book block wasn't staying in there. So it made it easier for me to start using some of the pages in here. We've got a lot of pages that are one color. And then we've got some that have multiple colors, but a lot of them are, you know, alternating between a different color with the black and white, which I think is very, I don't know. I like the aesthetic here. And some of these stories are things that some of us might be familiar with. I think that's, I forgot the name of this guy, but, you know, the steam shovel. So, lots of fun stories in here, lots of great images, lots of different colors that could be used for different kinds of projects. And I've already used some of this, and I will probably be using both the guts of this book and the cover itself. All right, turning to a different style of book here. I know that everyone has their own favorites from their childhood, and I think Baird Baylor and Peter Parnell, the illustrator, are, you know, favorites from my own childhood. So I have here a copy of I'm in Charge of Celebrations, and this is from the 1980s, and I just love both the prose in here and the coloration of this book. So we got these lovely illustrations that are a limited palette, and you know, very simple looking line work that is very expressive. And the text also, the artwork really matches the text, where the words seem a little sparse, but are very deliberate and have a lot of depth to them despite the short number of words that are here. This book here tells the story of, well, there's a girl who is making up her own celebrations based on different things that she's seeing around her. And I just think that this is, you know, a really lovely book. Love the colors, love the aesthetic, Everything about this book really reminds me of my childhood and living in the desert Southwest. So here's another volume. These are from the 1980s. Here's another one called Desert Voices. And, you know, you see things like that. I just love this cute little illustration here. And I think that with these books, with this author and this illustrator, I really learned how to see and love nature. And may have also learned how to see and love poetry while I was at it. So just a lovely series of books. There's a couple more by this author-illustrator duo that I have in my non-terrible collection that I may be using in the future. So this one I got to use. I'm hoping that I'll be able to turn this into a junk journal for myself eventually. So here, since I like Peter Parnell, the illustrator, I picked up one of his books where he both wrote and illustrated it. This is also from the 1980s book. Very cute. I had some aspiration to use this book, but it's got some good stories about the cats that he's rescued, and it's got some pretty illustrations, but they are more delicate and not as vibrant as the ones from the last two. So I was reading this for the first time when I just purchased this book a week ago, and while I like this, I don't think that it's would make sense to turn this into a junk journal now that I'm looking at it. So it's probably going to live a long life on my bookshelf. So what do you think about these books? What do you think about, are you familiar with Byrd Baylor's work? Do you like this art? Would you be using these volumes? I think I've seen this one used by other junk journalers, and I've also seen several of these out there in different, they've been printing this book for a very long time, so there are different kinds of covers where generally I think they, well, I don't know, maybe they keep the illustration, but you know, the design of the cover has changed over time. So there's lots of different versions to meet people's different needs. And I'm really interested to know in what cases would you choose to keep a book like this intact versus when you would take it apart and turn it into a junk journal. Thanks for watching.